Hey everybody, clearing. All right, first off, I just opened sessions. If you'd like to grab one, the link is in the description below. And let's get into the reading. So this is going to be for, let's do Divine Masculines, clearing karma in preparation for union. So this can be a little bit of a support read, can be an intuitive message for feminines to bring in some compassion for the masculines. Let's see what we get. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for how the Divine Masculines are clearing through their karma? What are the emotions that are associated with the things that they are navigating at this time? Necessary endings, lessons being learned, wisdom being seen. What is that doing for the connections from the masculine's side of the energy? And what will the result be of the work that the masculines are doing to up-level from those struggles, suffering? Okay, here we go. Conscious mind about the connections in general. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. So on the conscious mind, the masculines are understanding that as they clear their karma, their will and divine will are one and the same. That's a flow state. So they're giving it to God, letting go and letting God. Regarding the timing or how it will all fall into place, they're not sweating it. They're becoming more aligned to the cosmic clock. Meaning they're seeing how when they get out of their own way, karma and lessons and requirements fall into place. I actually just laughed because I heard duty is when our ego is trying to go against divine will. We get these ideas that we have to be enslaved to things out of duty, out of pretense. There's something like that the masculines are letting go of. They're realizing that a God of love, a divine creator of love does not, want us to be going against the grain. So there's something about a humbling energy here. Masculines are letting go of that suffering fight. That does not make them more noble to make things hard or to align with things that are so difficult. What is the emotion? Purpose. I know what I'm here to do. So many of these divine masculines' purpose has to do with the solutions of not hanging on to those things that are not aligned. When we're trying to make those things produce success, we're going against the grain. So there's something about their purpose being connected with teaching others how to go with the flow, how to find the path of ease. What is this doing for the feminine or for the connection with the feminines? Ecstasy, rapture, flux, amplification, heart wave resonator. So it brings them into resonance with your heart, feminines, with your soul. This is the soul alignment that's coming to the forefront. So something about the way the masculines are letting go of dis-ease in their life on whatever level is allowing them to resonate more with the feminine, their divine feminine. What is this doing? It's bringing the divine feminine into focus as a life mate. Didn't show up in the upright here, but there is a sense of self-love, inner nurture. Feminines, you might be actually feeling an increase of effortless self-love. You might just be feeling like it's a little bit easier to love yourself. You might feel there's more peace, there's more gentleness coming in, grace. And that feels like because you're tuning in to some shift within your energy, this resonance. There's not so much obtruse energy when you tune into your masculine or where you're at on the journey. It feels like things in general are starting to feel more amicable, harmonious in some way. If you don't see that in your connection, pray and ask to be shown that. Meditate, ask to see how that could be so. What can we see for the masculines about the feminines, specifically the karma? So mercy, humility, they are putting down judgmental, harsh judgments, overly critical, condemning energies for self and other. Mostly for self, actually. So the guilt, shame. Masculines are dropping into mercy, humility deep within. They're clearing out the guilt, shame cycles on their soul. This can be like confessional energy between them and God, a purge. They know in order to align with you feminines that they have to become righteous. They have to put down the errors of their ways. They have to be blameless. They have to be purified. And so they're scouring, they're searching their heart, their consciousness right now to see where they can be more trusting, more loving, more easy on themselves, where they can forgive themselves. Forgiveness is a huge word here, which will translate to feeling like they can be taken seriously as they begin to go all in these connections. Surrender. I can release my need to control. So yeah, there's that need to prove themselves. When they love themselves the way they are, for who they've become, they don't need to make rules and regulations and conditions, a false, like masks, false structures. They don't need to fabricate those kind of safety measures, boundaries, be on guard. So they're putting that down as they forgive themselves, especially where it comes to you feminines. This means they won't be holding you at arm's length anymore. That was designed, or that is part of the process that keeps you at bay so they can come into their core integrity. If they haven't found that inner core integrity, they don't allow the feminine into this resonance with them because they are not yet of a purified resonance. And so it's not a rejection of you feminines. It's that they are not worthy yet. They don't feel fully aligned with their own core essence yet. They don't know themselves well enough. They don't feel proud of their choices, their history. They don't have enough clarity about what they want and what that can look like. All of those things indicate a lack of self-knowledge. It can be that they have needed more experience, but this feels like they're doing a deep dive into alignment. What can we see for how it's affecting the connections? Ancestry, courage, wisdom, and empathy. There's something about this generational rite of passage with the ancestors here. It can be family line curses that they are in the process of breaking, being freed from, freeing their family lines from these things because of the wisdom and empathy. As they go into this deep forgiveness, that is a ripple effect that brings into their conscious mind compassion for the things that have been done to them, the things they have witnessed, the things they have acted out and done. These reconciliations of forgiveness are a domino effect that when they start tracing the root, goes beyond just themselves in this incarnation. It extends to their parents and those dynamics, and it goes further back into their forefathers, and it ripples out into the collective of society. And they're seeing this big picture getting bigger. They're unhooking from this. They are taking the torch of compassion in hand and releasing their brothers and sisters, human family, from the lower agreements. Wow. So this is taking courage, because this means that they are stepping into their noble righteousness. They may not be fully conscious they're doing that at this stage, because these cards, the surrender card is in the inverse. However, that means it's a very, very deep, intuitively guided, focused, concerted effort. And they are in the process of it right now. Your love, these connections, is drawing them to do it in part. Their own conscience, their own connection to Source, God, but also the knowing that they must surrender the guilt, shame, the acting out, the habitual crutches, addictions, patterns. Even if they've come through the addictions and patterns and crutches and codependencies and external crutches, they're still processing and reconciling the effects of those things, the inner workings of it. They're still going through the revelation of how that all works and how it's connected, and how trauma and disintegrated self-worth translate to acting in those ways. It's being revealed to them right now. It's a big rite of passage. What does this mean? Yeah, this is the Ace of Pentacles. It's not in the upright yet, but this is my card of 6 months. So this very well could have started, I'm hearing, 3-4 months ago, sincerely. And now there's something that is really bringing to focus this conscious aspect of it. But it feels like it's not fully played out yet, so that this wheel turns in the upright, where this new offer, this new beginning can come in. For some, this is closer than for others. There are multiple timelines here for various people, but it feels like nonetheless they're en route for this, and a new beginning is in the works. Once they ground this awareness, as each of them ground these awarenesses, that's when these offers and this connection comes in. Or the new way of relating with you feminines occurs. I'm getting so many messages. I'm being told there's going to be a feminine reading that talks about receptivity again, in preparation for these energies to be exchanged. Let's get back to the masculine reading. What can we see for the masculines? Releasing of karma on the heart space with these connections. They're being divinely guided. We have the High Priestess and the High Priest here with divine timing. This is a highly sacred process, a natural process set for this time on planet Earth, a time capsule. It is not unlike when a caterpillar gorges itself and its cells start to liquefy and it starts to go into the cocoon to become a butterfly. It is encoded into us to ascend when we set our free will sights on love. Not everyone's a twin flame or a relationship path of mastery, but nonetheless, love is in all layers of reality. And so regardless of the way love is most important to each individual, when they set their free will sights on love, their path of mastery begins to unfold. So these masculines who are truly on the journey are not to be given credit for when they lean in and lean out of the connections. They are following divine guidance. So yes, in a way, they are accountable for heeding that knowing. But on a deeper level, they don't know exactly why they are led to lean in and step back at times. This is guided on Most High. If they are a divine masculine, then they are following that guidance that they are receiving even before it makes rational sense to them. This connection is showing them with the sun and moon, the keys here, that they have indeed found a feminine that can match them in that level of movement in their lives. That higher guidance, that knowing, the intuition in the world but not of it. Emotions, gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents. So each time these masculines receive a download, a transmission from Most High, they are learning to be grateful for those opportunities and to take heed, to embrace them, to receive them. They were frustrated more so in the past, just like the feminines were. There's this more going with the flow, trusting these inner knowings, these divinely guided motions. They're beginning to trust them to the point of gratitude more in real time when they're happening, instead of having to make sense or integrate them after the fact and then catch up to speed. It's becoming, the gap is closing. It's becoming more fluid for these masculines to see how it works also with the feminine. Instead of being frustrated when plans don't unfold, or when karmic squeaky wheel energies come up, the masculines are learning to flow with those things even still. Dare I say, they are beginning to be grateful when things don't go to plan, because they know that when there is a plan intended and something comes up that seems to be contrary, that it just means it's dredged whatever's needed faster to the surface. And so the frustration can be taken away. What can we see for the energy? Subconscious awareness, Akashic information. This is also allowing the masculines to step outside of themselves and to draw on the multiverse, the solutions needed, to dig to the depths of their being. These masculines are vast and divine. And so this is allowing them to truly have spiritual mastery, wisdom, insight, compassion, higher guidance. But it's so vast and interconnected. It's becoming second nature for them to be good with the present moment and the circumstances that are in each moment. I've said it before, a hallmark of mastery for a multidimensional being is to be present. It is incredibly masterful to pull and rein in all the energetic things that are constantly bombarding and spreading too thin, and to just be here now. And these masculines are, I can see it in the cards, in the energy, that they are bringing it into crystallization. What can we see for these connections? Strength, humility. So the devil energies have been largely overcome, and this is the act of gratitude, of embodiment, of nobility coming in, honor, worthiness. Wow. What can we see for how karma and release of karma, up-leveling through life's lessons into mastery, is affecting the heart space with the feminine? Coming back around. This little masculine was rejecting this very mystical, amazing feminine mermaid here. And now these masculines are on par with the feminine's majesty, divinity. They are very much transformed from when you first met them. You met them when there was a spike, a peak of consciousness. Many counterparts met when both intended, cried out for true love, were at rock bottom, and their souls said, send me love so I can believe, so I can go on. We're seeing a little bit about the heart cry, the soul cry on the heart space here that initiated your first meeting, or initiated the first blips of the radar on each heart that scans this dimension, this world for our person. If you haven't met your person yet, there is still this preparation and alignment. Some on the spectrum of karmas are developing their faith without having met their person yet. Some have met their person and only awoken when meeting the person. Some have been on varied journeys and gone through many people and now coming into alignment with the one that they truly are matched with. But there's a readiness in all those ways. There's a readiness on the heart of hearts for these masculines. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So I'm getting from that these masculines are no longer comparing themselves to whether they are your equal. This journey has brought the masculines into their own knowledge of their own redeeming worth. Letting go of all the things that needed to be purged. The rite of passage. Energetically, what is this doing? Intention, mental breakthroughs, and ideas. Hurt people because it's a broken record. It's a hamster wheel of monkey see, monkey do. When we have breakthroughs, we can set the intention and go higher. And that's where healed people heal people. That's where we can see a new level of interaction that is more in alignment with that which we want to see in love. And that we can manifest that. So on the heart space, these masculines are wanting to step into leadership with the glass half full, the thriving, the manifestation of what they know on the heart space can be possible. And yet they are the ones that are bringing this into this dimension by embodying it and demonstrating it just by living their Tao. This is connected with the journey with the feminine, but it is no longer for the acceptance from the feminine. So many times on this journey, we hear there's a fear of rejection. These masculines are stepping beyond that fear of rejection because they are truly finding it within themselves. As they clear their karma, they're receiving the internal confirmation of their own righteousness, their own nobility. So they do not need the acceptance of their feminine. And this is one of the things that is a requirement to be in harmonious union, sacred union, and not go into codependency or lose ourselves. So the feminines have been anchoring in self-worth, and the masculines are quickly going through matching that, but not because they're intending to do it to match the feminine, but because they are activating their own righteousness. What can we see for the feminine? Bravery. So trailblazing. Both counterparts, divine counterparts, are lights in the world. All of these other wands are people who haven't done the work, who will be in the vicinity of seeing how righteousness and mastery look good on people, and they are taking note. So I've heard it said 100,000 others come into the light when one person goes through the path of mastery. And so these are the onlookers, the friends, the family, colleagues, strangers, sorry, individuals. They may or may not be strange, that notice the light of each individual and take it to heart that there's something remarkable, something different, something that inspires them to go higher. And so this is also the flame that's lit. This is the flame of mission, of purpose. And the masculines, this is its own reward. This is the true freedom that is found when we connect to source and we're no longer giving our power away. And this is also that very powerful, sacred, intimate alignment that brings in the chemistry on a sacred level, but also exponential abundance and purpose in the world. As couples here, this is the heart space. I've also channeled for years that the masculines have to come to a place of healing and mastery over their karma in order to come into union, because we cannot come into sacred union if we do not know ourselves, because we are not qualified to say yes to what we're signing up for. We're naive or unaware. And free will requires we have actual choice to be able to differentiate between frequencies. And so as these masculines come into mastery, they actually can now choose and know what they're choosing in partnership with a divine feminine. What can we see for how karma clearing, up-leveling is affecting what the masculines want to manifest? We have the Three of Swords. I'm just looking at, there's a fairy, but it's actually two fairies. And it looks like one of the fairies is pulling another fairy away from this heartache. It feels like the masculines want to magically swoop in and remove you from recreating heartache in your life, feminines. It's almost like I'm hearing them saying, I get it now. I don't want to perpetuate heartache anymore. So they want to remove both of you from the wheel of karma. Change, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So yeah, the masculines do have to come in and initiate change. They want to manifest that. They want to make a difference. They are becoming ready to be the change they wish to see. Spiritual strength, virtue, and valor, right? So when two masters come together, there's great strength, virtue, and valor. And together, there is so much momentum that can be brought into the world. What can we see here for the benefit? Watch, be open. This is a card of curiosity, feminines. And this sword is pointing straight to the masculines coming in renewed, different, changing it up, surprising you with the way that they now view things and it's like they're no longer threatened by being overpowered by this love, by you feminines, by external expectations, by insecurity. They're coming in virtuous, with valor, with integrity, with core spiritual strength. There's a 77 here, which is a divine completion number, master number. So feminines, you are being guided here to see the green flags that happen when a masculine comes correct on that level. Now that doesn't require a specific kind of description of what that would look like. That is a energetic reputation that precedes them, that exudes from them, that can't be labeled with a particular action they're going to take. It's a way about them that is evident in the way they take their action or show up as a person in the world. What is the action the masculines want to take? Empress in the inverse. So in this card, it's kind of cold shoulder or kind of being put off or, cold shoulder. In the inverse, they want to come in and disarm you, feminines. They don't want to be given the cold shoulder. They want to be received in love. And so it feels as though they very much are understanding that there are certain questionable behaviors, things they've said, patterns that they very much are understanding give you the right to maybe be a bit like that. They are getting right with God, so to speak, so that when they come in, they are prepared to address the things that would have caused you to do this. And they're in deep meditation about what those things have been. And as we saw earlier, the big picture of where those things took root in their lives, in their actions, in the things that traumatized them, in the chain reaction that stemmed from where the events that traumatized them were perpetuated from previous events, and so on and so on. The societal norms, the spiritually immature, not sensitive ways that trauma and barbaric energy, war-torn energy on this planet has affected human beings. So we're getting to the beginnings of the end of that people on the planet, peace on earth. It is coming through all of us who are awakening. Do you know that when we bring peace to our own hearts, which is our primary concern, our primary relationship is our own heart. When we do that, we contribute immense healing into the world. And as pairs of healed individuals come together in these imaginal ways, it's exponentially influential into the world. So, Empress, regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Exactly. These things that have played out between counterparts that have made the feminines go like that. How do you say go like that? The masculines they know they can't change the past, but they can change their behavior. So they want to show you they've changed, feminines. Path change, paradigm shift, adjustment. Booyah. That's really what's being shared here. And how does that affect? Okay, feminines, this is the skeptical. This is very skeptical. This is skeptical. There's a skeptical energy. And you know your worth. You want to be sure, feminines. And now, oh, how much have these masculines auditioned the divine feminines and put them through immense tests, subconscious, conscious, the ringer. Masculines have put these feminines through the ringer. Now, feminines, it's okay to want to know for sure and to see the change. So this is, it's not necessarily guilty until proven innocent, but there is a desire here for you feminines to have some savvy, some energetic street smarts when your masculine comes back, because it's actually to each other's credit to be able now to pinpoint the ways that have now healed, and to be able to communicate, to celebrate, to acknowledge the differences. Not just in these connections, but from the typical, the norms, to the divine. So it's not just to test and sort between each other, but also on behalf of humanity, to see this glorious new way of getting to interact as couples, this is the courtship. It's showing each other what each is made of now. This is the friendly banter, the play, the divinity getting to be seen, because there's a trustworthiness and a foundation in these connections, in our own spirit, in our own mastery. Now we know what we're looking for. Now we know what is there when we see it. And now we get an opportunity to show it to each other. How refreshing. What is the biggest challenge for these masculines that are coming through the karmic clearing? Oh, the divine feminine. This is a feminine that knows their value, knows their worth. And that is indeed the challenge, is that this self-realized, spiritually embodied feminine energy is their greatest test of mastery on this kind of spiritual love path of mastery. And so the cheeky smile here, this feminine, she knows. Oh, she knows. Oh, J. Cole. Abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So the masculines are up for this challenge, the divine challenge of divine sacred union. They want to manifest this with you feminines, and the challenge is that they have to be an exquisite, extraordinary divine masculine to match a divine feminine, but they are believing that they have what it takes to do so. What is this doing in the connections? Harmonic oscillator, timing, rhythm, synchronization, and frequency. So the challenge is matching frequencies. What does this do in the connections? It ends the separation wound, the original separation wound and the abandonment wounds. So it turns those on its head because there's a merge. energetically, when we have resistance, when we have sin, when we miss the mark with how we're living, when we're inauthentic, when we fall short, when we cut corners, when we're lazy, when we are ignorant, when we don't know, when we settle, all of those things create a wedge in our soul that disallows us to fully meet a partner on a sacred level. And so only two righteous people can eliminate this imbalance of energy that triggers the separation wound, the abandonment wound, the splice on the soul level. What can we see for the solution to this challenge? This earning it. We've had the Ace of Pentacles already. This is the process unfolding. It's to stay with the process. It's to meet each other on a soul sacred level and to explore the grand adventure. I think we got in the reading recently. Fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Dare I say God-fearing, righteousness-fearing. This is going into the Holy of Holies, the purification. So what this is giving is the fact that we've come into righteousness as individuals, and now we come together and we refine each other further as we merge. It brings out, and already has been bringing into focus, all of the impurities, the blemishes, the resistance, the sin, the lower vibrational things. It's been smelting those out of our energy. It's been refining to pure gold. Gold is happiness. And we keep going. The tenacity, the encouragement, the inspiration to keep going are these wins in the name of love as we continue merging lives at any rate that it makes sense for each set of counterparts. It's not hours and minutes. It's lessons and epiphanies. And each one of those awarenesses in the name of love turns this wheel. What can we see? Galactic Council crest, spiritual sovereignty, astral travel and timelessness. Our righteousness on a sovereign individual level has been what has been required to start bringing in the unions at this level, at this sacred, fully righteous, purified level. What can we see for how this connects? Twin flames. This is the process that is already encoded, destined. It's part of the fabric of reality. I think of a ball dropping and gravity just taking it down here. There's no effort. We don't have to effort. We just have to let go of things that are not love, and we land here. I realize I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. The energy of love, there's the victory V. It is what this whole dimension is made of, the energy of love. So when we let go of fear, it's like breathing underwater, walking on water. It's like being weightless. We just let go of fear, and it's like when cartoons run out over an edge and they're like walking on air, but the moment they look down and the fear comes in, they fall. It's like that. Don't look down. What can we see for the direction in the near future? The Hangman. There's going to be some major epiphanies that start moving this forward. So the masculines are downloading these major aha moments and 180 beliefs coming in. Humor. Yeah, I've always said that humor is when we see an epiphany that we hadn't seen before and we make new connections in our brain, and laughter is the sound of those connections being made. So The humor in the inverse means that these masculines are about to have some pretty big belly laughs. I see that for the counterparts for the rest of our lives, laughing in joy together. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Yeah, put the burdens down. These are the epiphanies about putting the burden down and coming into alignment, coming into joy, coming into the lighter side of life, coming into the solutions, not the problems. And lunar progressor, emotional equilibrium, compassionate non-attachment. That is the hovering, the weightlessness, the burden-free. When we come into balance, we don't sweat the things that are illusion. We come into non-attachment, we don't attach to things that bring us down. We rise. What is this doing for the connections? It's opening everybody's hearts. Okay, I'm going to sign off there. Many blessings. Bye for now.